Hello and welcome to Film Friday number 11 for April 2nd, 2021. As always, remember to share and like so that I know if these are of any value to you, in which case I will keep them up. In local film news, in the South Island region, we currently have the following productions actively filming: American Dreamer, Baker's Son Movie of the Week by Front Street Pictures, Made, the Netflix series, and in pre-production, we have Wedding Veil Wishes being shot by Front Street Pictures. Rescued by Ruby is also in pre-production. And if you want more information on that show, please watch our chat with Jane Charles on an earlier edition of Film Friday, segment number 9. The wildly popular Hallmark TV series Chesapeake Shores, filmed around the Parksville area, locals are happy to have them back in town. Many cast and crew members are currently undergoing their 2-week quarantine periods, and season 5 is expected to go to camera in about 10 days following a 1-year COVID hiatus. Empress Avenue Media is looking to increase their Vancouver Island crew list for both union and non-union crew. Those who are interested are asked to send resumes or CVs to Mia Golden at Empress Avenue with crew in the subject line. And I'll put the correct address. It's actually at empressav.com with crew in the subject line. And to the north of us, Cine Central is hosting a script writing session on Saturday, April 10th at 7 p.m. It is a free event where you can share your work in progress with other writers. Look for the link or find the event on Cine Central's Facebook page, and we will provide the link also as usual. And this just in, Cine Central is announcing in partnership with Shaw Spotlight, a short film grant made possible by the city of Nanaimo. They are offering 2 grants of $2,000 each, available for Vancouver Island film producers to produce a short film here on Vancouver Island. Completed films will premiere at their 2021 Film Festival and as a special on Shaw Spotlight Vancouver Island. Details will be in the link. And now to our guests. I can't wait for you to meet these 2 women making big, bold, important moves in our region. Today, joining us on Film Friday, we have Melissa Pepper and Jeany Shipley, who together have formed DEI Talent. So welcome to both of you.
Well, thank you, Darlene, and thank you so much for having us here today. First, I would like to acknowledge that both Melissa and I are calling in from the Lekwungen speaking people's territories, which are unceded territories that we have the great pleasure of work, live, and play.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. I know it's appreciated. Now, before we get going, I'd like to introduce both of you to our viewers in a little more detail. And just because the way my screen's set up, Melissa, why don't we start with you? Why don't you tell us a bit about your background as it pertains to the film world?
Yeah, for sure. So I started in Brazil. I was actually discovered by an agent there when I was 15 years old. I was at the salon with my mom, and I was kind of the ugly duck from my classroom.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I was very tall, very skinny. And then this guy came up to me and said, "Have you ever thought of modeling?" And I said, "No, I don't think I could be a model." He's like, "No, you should be a model. I'm going to give you a course, and I want you to be a model for my agency." I said, "Sure, why not?" So I ended up winning a contest, and it was a contract to go to Asia. I was 16 years old. So then I traveled to Thailand. It was my first international trip as a model. And ever since I started, I never stopped. It has become my passion. So I went to Thailand, I went to Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, and back to Brazil. And then I started studying to become an actress. So I continue to work in Brazil, but never 100% focus on my acting until I moved to Canada. And then I moved here. I started working as a model and as an actress again. And actually, my first job here in Canada was with Darlene. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. That was my very first gig here in Victoria.
That's
and
amazing.
then I met you and some amazing people. That was for the commission of film industry, and it was so great to meet like amazing people. And I said, that's what I want to do here in Canada. And then I never stopped.
That's wonderful. Great. So along with the agency, you are still working. So you are still available as a model and as an actor, correct?
Yeah, right now, well, I just had a baby. I think you both know she's 5 months right now. I did some work, so yes, I would be available. But as an agent, I think I like being an agent better than being a model. It's so hard. I think Jeany feels the same way. I love doing both. It's kind of when you're an actor and a director and a producer and a writer, you just want to do everything.
Yeah. Well, you certainly have a great background to bring to your new agency. So thank you for that. And Jeany, tell us a bit about your background.
My story is a bit similar to Melissa's, minus the agent coming to me. I went looking for an agency when I was 15, and I joined an agency. I did courses for modeling. It was 6 months of intensive courses because they covered everything on how to walk, how to take coats off. Anyways, makeup. So I started as a model with that agency, and we did a lot of events. And I then started working at a bank. And when I was at the bank, they said, you should be one of the Miss Banker. They had such competition in Brazil. So I entered the competition and I became Miss Banker. And when I moved to Canada in 2000, I was introduced to the agency here. I joined the agency. I worked for a few years there. And I took a break after I had my 2 kids. My last fashion show, I was expecting my second child. And then I came back to the agency. And after I worked in a movie in 2003. And when I came back to the agency in 2019, I then worked in another movie and I didn't stop. It was one movie after another. I've taken acting classes and I also worked as a standing, and I auditioned quite a few times for speaking roles. And when we started the agency, the first question of the casting director was, please don't tell me you're going to stop working as an actor. I said, well, we'll see how that goes, because Melissa and I have been extremely busy since the launch. And it's just kind of in the back burner for now, but I was asked to work 2 days this week, and I did go. And it's a passion of mine too. It's such a fun environment. And it's good to keep the connections, right, with our talent and in the industry.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's great. So you also have this amazing background to bring to the agency. So I think it's great that you two connected to form the agency. So now that we're moving more on to DEI Talent, first off, what does DEI stand for?
It's diversity, equality, and inclusion.
Ah, okay, perfect. Do you need to be represented by your agency? Do you need to be someone who falls under that diversity umbrella?
No, under the equality and inclusion, that's the agency we are. We are on all inclusive, and we want to give equal opportunities to the talents. We are receiving applications, and that's actually one question that came up quite often. And we have added a FAQ page on our website because that question was coming up. People were saying, and it was really interesting. We were interviewing this amazing, he's an actor, he's a director, he's a writer, voiceover. We're interviewing him, and he said to us, he said, I was so nervous before this interview because here I am, a 50-year-old man, born and raised in Victoria, white as white can come, interviewed by the two of you. And it was really interesting. I think that's the feeling a lot of people are having, but no, it's not necessarily just minorities.
Okay,
I was just gonna say, I believe everyone has some kind of diversity. So
well said.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, good. Now, your agency also has established some very specific values. Would you care to share with us what those values are?
Yes, our values are professionalism, open-minded, driven, and creative. Because understanding the industry, we thought it were really important that our talent have a good understanding of their values, because that is how they are going to work in the industry and how we will also provide to the casting directors and to the productions the best talent that can be on the Vancouver Island.
Wonderful. I think that's fairly unique. I'm fortunate to also be associated with an agency with strong values, but I'm thrilled to see that you lead with that in your information, that people are very clear what you stand for and then can decide if they are a fit with you. And I applaud you for doing that. Now, and what are you looking for in people that you want to represent? For example, is there a skill level, a training level? Is there something? So when somebody calls up or submits to you and says, will you represent me? What do their materials need to look like? What are you looking for in your talent?
So we're currently representing actors, so principals, background, voiceover, and models. And at first, we don't require any materials just because we want to meet everyone. So we have been interviewing every single person that applied on our website, and we do not ask for headshots or any material before. We just ask for a social media link. And then we just ask the person what they are looking for in an agency. How can we better represent this person? And to tell about a little bit about themselves. So after that, we do interview the person, and then we ask about training, availability, headshots, and if the person really understands our mission and what we stand for and what we're looking to represent. We just really want to make sure that every talent, when they go on set, they're gonna advocate for people as well, just like we want to advocate for people. So that's our main goal. And after that, we ask for headshots and then for demo reels if the person has one. And then if there's any training, we've been extremely lucky that everyone has training, pretty much everyone. If not, they're just looking to doing some background. But for our actors, like we have people with amazing resumes and a lot of people coming from UVic, which is wonderful as well. And that's basically what we ask. So it's pretty much just getting to know the person. We just want to represent people that have a story behind, the headshot. We want to represent stories, not just people.
Okay. So is there, I know from a casting director's perspective, there is a reliance on talent agencies that talent will be have somewhat level of skills. They will be strong in their self-tape skills, and they will be able to deliver once they arrive on set. So are those kind of requirements or characteristics you're looking for as well? So casting director can rely on your roster as being good to go?
Absolutely, yeah. And part of that conversation that Melissa and I are having with everyone is gauging that bit of history that they have, their stories that they have the experience, and if they have the training. And some of them, we are lucky to have received a lot of theater students, and a few of them have not had an opportunity to be on film setting. So we are then asking them, are you willing to do background work? Because that will expose you to, it's a different industry, right, than the theater. And we are giving them the opportunity. Actually, this week, I think we had 4 that are with the theater background. On top of that, we are also giving them an orientation. What is the filming set like? And what would their day be like? And we give them a list of do's and don'ts. We give them a list of lingo, a sequence of a scene, and the lingo that goes with that. When the AG calls this is the meaning. We are training the people with less experience, but we have a lot of experienced actors. We are sending them also resources for them to know what a good self-tape looked like. We had we're having the same interviews and conversation with casting directors, and a casting director from Vancouver actually said she really would highly recommend that we only have professional headshots for the actors. Yeah. And we're requiring that from everyone. No selfies with background or sunglasses, because we understand too that the casting directors are going to see the level of professionalism by that very first headshot, because it is actually their introduction to the casting director, and then it goes to the resume. So we are mentoring them, if you may, on how to have all that material to put their best face forward.
Wonderful. Now, one thing that I don't think people fully appreciate or generally appreciate is what is actually required out of the 2 of you to be operating as a talent agency in the province of BC. It is not a matter of just having a cup of coffee, let's do this, hang the shingle out. So can you give people a little bit of an idea of, because I think it speaks to your commitment to what you're doing, that you're willing to jump through all those hoops. So can you give people just a bit of an overview of what you had to go through to be a talent agency in this province?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, Arlene. I think that's the behind the scenes that no one saw us doing. So first we had to map out, I don't know how many times we met before we even started, but we had to map out a business plan, and then we had to register our agency through Employment BC. And then we have to have a license to operate here in BC as well. Actually, Jeany is amazing with the finances, and she's the director of business. So I will let her explain better. But so many things that we had to do to make this happen, and it was so much work. And it's not as easy as everybody thinks.
Which I think is a good thing. I think
yeah, it is, like, we've been working around the clock, to tell you the truth, Darlene. It was months of mapping out, let's say, and every single detail. What is the logo going to look like? And trying many logos, and you have to submit so many applications. And like Melissa said, the business plan. And I think what will make, and it's making us successful, it's the great combination of Melissa and I, because I am also a CPA CGA, which is a very high standard professional trained, right? Melissa also has a business background. She used to own a business in Brazil, and I used to own a business as well. And with that, also, we both worked in the industry. I think we really know from our talent perspective what we would expect from an agent. And from working in a production, we also know what the production expects of the talent. And as now agents, we also can understand what they will need of us. That was all part of this planning and communication, and even partnership. We call partnership because I think it is a partnership with casting directors, with marketing agencies, with productions, and all of that had to be really well thought out, how we were going to approach and who we were going to contact first. I think it's a lot of work. It's not as easy as a lot of people probably may think. Like I said, it's not just hanging up the shingle. It's a lot of paper. Also, there is that first investment because everything also requires, a fee. We have an amazing platform, a talent management platform, and the combination that I was going to is that Melissa also is a millennial, and as a millennial, the technology, the social media part, which I am not, I'm the Gen Z. So she is managing the technology, and me as a CPA CJ, I am managing the finances. We also have a lot of discussions because a partnership to be successful of our shared responsibilities, and the areas where she will look after, the areas I will look after, and what decisions that are very important that will affect our talent and the cast directs we have to make together.
Right.
Yeah, the amount, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say the amount of paperwork behind the scenes just to be affiliated to, the casting platforms, and even to choose our own platform, we had to put all our data in this platform first, run it, see if it works. Are we going to go with this one? So we watched I don't know, 2 or 3 demos from different platforms, we tried 2 different websites, 3 different ways of approaching people. What are we going to do? Are we going to call them? Are we going to schedule a Zoom meeting? Are we going to just email them? How we're going to follow up with everyone? And I think people don't understand the job of being an agent is almost like having to work with both parts, deal with both production and talent.
Yeah.
And it's so much work to make it happen.
Yeah, and I don't think people really fully appreciate that. So I'm glad you've gone into some detail, both of you, to explain that. And there is also, if I'm not mistaken, a sizable financial commitment in terms of a bond, because you are the conduit for for paychecks and things like that from all of your talent. And I think the government has established this bond to assure people that in the event to weed out the shady operators who will fly off with your money, that the government requires a very sizable bond to guarantee, to assure talent that anything they earn, they will actually get. That's accurate, isn't it?
Yes, that is a bond that is required for the first year. And this is also to guarantee that there are no complaints against the agency. I don't think it's only from the financial aspect, but also how we're running our business and probably how we're treating our talent, right? That we're supporting them, we're respecting them. And we have, applied, and that comes actually as a requirement to receive the license.
Yeah, good. Before we wrap up too, I also want to encourage you to, for your talent, particularly the newer ones, to stay in touch with the indie film world, because I think it's such a brilliant place to start to build up credits and, get your resume and show that you understand what's happening on set with a little less pressure. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes, and I missed saying that when I said about the theater students as well, because they don't have those credits, right, to be a union actor. We also said that those are great opportunities. We are highly encourage them, and we are looking into actually casting calls, and we are asking the actors who would like to submit a self-tape.
Wonderful. So future plans before we sign off. What to do? I know it appears like you are have launched very successfully. You've got your rosters working. So besides just growth, do you have long-term plans that you can share, or are you still just kind of getting all the wheels rolling at the same time right now?
We do have so many plans. We work until 10 p.m. and then from 10 to 1 a.m. it's just like throwing ideas back and forth. So we do have lots of plans. I think I hope Jeany doesn't kill me for sharing some of them. She will agree with it. One of the plans is to have an office with a studio so we can have people self-taping. Another thing that we do is that we watch every self-tape. So the other day we had 15 people sending self-tapes to a casting director, and we watched every single one of them. And we said, this is like, could you please do this again and this time? Because we both were trained for that. So we would love to have a studio with our agency to help, even like for readings, for table reads, for, just to we want to build a community here. So that's one of our biggest plans so far. And I'll let Jeany tell another one.
Well, yeah, having the physical space is one, but also we're very lucky to have a talent and very diverse roster. We have from screenwriters to cinematographers, writers, directors, producers. Our dream is actually, and the actors, of course, is to put a production together that the entire roster is DEI. It's going to be like a DEI production. So that's a big one. And probably from there, we are looking to grow for sure and expand, probably beyond Vancouver Island, but those are plans for now. For now, we are just taking one day at a time.
Understood. Well, you've had a tremendous launch period, and it's great to see your roster growing and outworking. So congratulations to both of you. And I just want to let our viewers know that you can follow what DEI Talent is up to on their Facebook page, their Instagram, and I will put a link below. You can also find out more about them at deitalent.ca. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes,
okay, deitalent.ca. So thank you so much for joining us. We wish you continued success, and I look forward to following all of your endeavors on social media. So thank you.
Thank you, Darlene, for having us.
Thank you so much, Darlene. We appreciate everything you do for the film industry.
Thank you. It was great to see you both.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
And that is it for this edition of Film Friday. Happy Good Friday to everyone. Enjoy your Easter weekend. And as always, share and like. Thank you.